Welcome to Market Recap Live. I am your host, Joseph Martin, and thank God it's Wednesday, guys. And tonight we are taking a look at ticker ZM. You might know them better as Zoom. Zoom Video Communications Incorporated was founded in 2011 by Eric Yuan, I think. I'm going to spell it for you. Y-U-A-N, okay? With the first office opening in San Jose, California. Now they are publicly traded on the NASDAQ and have a market value over $25 billion. Zoom is in the software industry in the information technology sector, and they are not listed in the S&P 500 index. Some of Zoom's competitors are Cisco Systems Incorporated, ticker CSCO, Microsoft Corporation, ticker MSFT, and Ring Central Incorporated, ticker RNG. I'm telling you right now, guys, fact check that. This was something that I overlooked preparing for the show. So look into that, okay? We're going to review Zoom's earnings, their website, and visit the charts to perform a quick technical analysis. But before we do that, let's do our roll call and check our stream poll. We are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. Let's get this chat going and tell us where you're tuning in from. Put a YT in the chat if you're tuning in from YouTube, and put an FB in the chat if you're tuning in from Facebook. And while you guys are filling up the stream and the chat, here's the mission statement. We are building a community over here for people who want to take control of their financial situation by learning how to unlock the wealth building power of the stock market. And we are streaming Monday through Friday following trading sessions at 11 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. stock market regular trading hours are 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. And there's a link for the New York Stock Exchange calendar down in the description. Okay, let's get to it. Let's get to these earnings. Bam. There we go. Zoom Video Communications Incorporated, ticker symbol ZM, the $29.3 billion company, reported its first quarter fiscal year 2027 earnings on Thursday, May 21st. They have a 52-week high of $113.73, which took place on May 22nd, and a 52-week low of $69.15 that occurred on August 12th, which is a trading range of $44.58, and they closed today at $99.96. Zoom's earnings report met market expectations on the top line when they reported revenue of $1.2 billion, but they beat on the bottom line as disciplined cost management and enterprise customer momentum drove margin expansion. EPS was higher than the analysts and market expectations of $1.42 when they reported an adjusted EPS of $1.55. Zoom reported a GAAP net income of $425.7 million, which was higher than the $254.6 million net income they reported this same quarter last year. This represents an increase of 67.2%. So for the first fiscal quarter of 2026, their net profit was approximately 40.2% lower than it is compared to now a year later. The earnings were released after the market closed, followed by a 5 p.m. Eastern time conference call. As far as guidance, management raised its full year revenue outlook to between $5.08 billion and $5.09 billion. That 52-week low compared to today's closing of $99.96 represents an increase of 44.5% over a span of approximately 9 months. So if someone invested $1,000 in August at that 52-week low of $69.15, they would be seeing a gain of $445.55. All right, so let's keep it moving, guys. Let's talk about why we visit these company websites. We're looking at the visuals and text to find answers to these key questions. What goods and or services does the company sell? How important are those goods and services to their customers? What makes this company stand out from the competition? And how well do they take care of their employees? We look for those answers in four main areas. The homepage for the goods and or services, about us for purpose, vision, and mission statements, careers for employee benefits and opportunities, and investor relations for SEC filings and stock quotes. And for your convenience, all companies featured in tonight's live stream are down in the description. Now let's go visit Zoom's website. All right, we on a roll, guys, and thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. Here we go. Bam. All right, so here we are on Zoom's website. We're going to browse over this main page. I didn't get a chance to really go over it before we started the stream tonight. So we're going to browse over this together to look at the top to see if it's anything we're going to go to up here. I don't think so. I don't think so. But we're looking. Yep. So we're going to scroll over this home page. I think the places we're going to go, like the careers and all that other stuff, is going to be down at the bottom, including investor relations. So my notes, your new AI note taker. So they're adding features to their platform. One platform, endless ways to work together, collaboration, customer support, marketing, sales. Remember, the links for these websites are down in the description for your convenience. Trusted by millions, built for you. So I believe this is some of the customers or partners that they have. ExxonMobil, Capital One, New York Times, Walmart. Let's see. Are these some of the things they've been recognized for? Yeah. It's like ratings. Businesses achieve more with Zoom. What's new? Making news, making impact, meet my nose. See what Zoom can do for your business. All right, we're down at the bottom of the page. So let's browse over where we're going to go. About, we're going to go to about, we're going to go to customers. We're going to go to careers. No, I thought customers was careers. We're going to go to about, careers, investors. And I believe that's it. That's where we need to go. So let's go to about, see what we can find. The heart of human connection. At Zoom, we help people connect, collaborate, and get more work done together. Mission and vision, they made it easy, guys. The AI first work platform for human connection. Our core value, care. We care for our customers, our company, our communities, our teammates, and ourselves. Zoom is dedicated to delivering happiness to our customers, our company, our community, our teammates, and ourselves. They just said that. we just reading away, huh? The AI first work platform for human connection. Excuse me. Why customers choose Zoom, our story. Zoom began as a small company with a simple mission to make video communications frictionless. Since then, Zoom has innovated rapidly and expanded to be a full AI-powered collaboration platform. Here's a snapshot of how we've grown. I remember Zoom blew up during the pandemic, COVID-19, because everybody went from working from home, and Zoom was just in the right place at the right time. I believe this stock had went all the way up to like $700, maybe $900 a share, and now it's $100 because that meant as many people aren't working. The same amount of people working from home are not working from home anymore. Since people have gone back to the office, for the most part, they've lost a lot of their, I want to say, I don't want to just say customers, because people still have the Zoom accounts, but they're not using it as much, I don't think, based on the fact that we went back to the office. Most of the workers went back to the office. But yeah, that was just a fun fact that popped in my head. So who we are, working at Zoom, remote working at Zoom, join us. All right, so we went over to about, we got the idea. All right, now let's go to careers. And we're looking for the benefits, guys. Except Essential Zone. Man, I hate cookies. on computers. I love cookies, but not the ones on the computers. Here we go. They made it easy. It looked like they zoomed us out. So let's zoom in. Here we go, 150. Our values, we just looked over that. We're going to our benefits. Let's make this quick tonight. Stay on track. So health benefits, generous time off, financial planning, stock benefits. You can't see it because I'm on the screen. So here we go. Stock benefits, family benefits, additional benefits, and then view all benefits. And here are the different teams that they have. So different departments that go into what this company does. Let's go to view all benefits real quick because that's what we're looking for. Okay, so what I'm seeing right here immediately off the back is that they're all over the world, guys. So the benefits are going to change depending on where that person works at. So this is a lot to look through. So you can do this on your own time. The links are down in the description for your convenience, but they do an excellent job of breaking down the benefits compared to what we usually see on some of these websites. So that's a good thing. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. What were we looking at? I'm scrolling too fast. Those were the different teams, different departments. Here are some things they've been recognized for, some rewards they've received. So that would be good to know before making a decision on whether or not someone wants to trade or invest in the company. All right, so we looked at careers, and now I'm looking for investors. So let me take me off the screen so you can see it. Down here at the bottom of this page, we're going to investors. I'm about to go ahead and wrap this website up. So investors relations, zoom in 150. Investor relations, our mission and vision, core value, care, our culture, and here's the stock information. But we are looking for the actual stock quote and see if they have a chart available on the website. And I can see it right over here to the left. So I'm gonna browse over this page just so you can see what's on it. And then we're gonna actually go to the stock quote and chart. Here we go, bam. Stock quote. So there we go. They trade on the NASDAQ. There goes the ticker, Zoom, price. They closed that today. The price change, all of that information. Now, if you've been following along, I think that these websites outsource the stock data. So sometimes it takes a while to load up. This one actually came a little bit faster. I was going to chat to keep us busy while this loaded up. But as you can see, it popped up. I don't know if they have, oh, they do have other investor tools on the website right here over to the left. Okay. So we got that done. So we can go on and move on over to this because I got some company research that I had pulled up about Zoom. So let's go here and let's talk about it. So the company research that I have found, Zoom does have customers that are listed in the S&P 500, and some notable names include Capital One Financial Corporation, ticker COF, Salesforce Incorporated, ticker CRM, and JP Morgan Chase and Company, ticker JPM. All right. So let's talk about the mobile limitations. Before we look at the charts, remember, professionals trade from a computer, not a mobile device. Mobile trading apps are limited. Traders can lose critical details and advanced platform features using apps on phones instead of software on computers or websites. So keep in mind, trading from a smartphone is usually the least effective way for managing assets. To access the most details, it's best to use a full trading platform. Watch these streams on a computer or TV and only use a phone as a last resort. Now let's look at Zoom on the charts. Yes. I'm pulling it up, guys. I'm pulling it up. Trying to keep it a little secret, but I got you. I'm about to pull the charts up so you can see it. So here we go. Bam. I was about to say, I know I pushed the button. So here we go. We have Zoom pulled up on the chart. We are looking at a 1 year daily chart. I'm wondering if my settings are set up right. Let me check it real quick. Equities, time frame. Where is it? Yeah, it's set up right. Okay. All right. So let me take me off the screen so you can see the 52-week low because I'm blocking it. All right, so here is the 52-week low of $69.15. Here's the 52-week high of $113.73. So as you can see, we haven't pulled up Zoom on this live stream before because we don't have any technicals on here. So what I want to do, I want to zoom out and go to the 10-year weekly chart. And I don't believe we're going to get a full 10 years because I don't believe that Zoom has been out that long. And then earlier when I was giving my fun fact information, I was actually wrong. I had said it was like 700 or $900. It was $588.84. That's the spike right here that we see in 2020. This was the COVID, the pandemic situation where people started working from home. So Zoom blew up. It went straight, it just skyrocketed because everybody was using that platform. It was real popular. And they peaked at that $588.84. So how many years is this? So we 2026, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 7 years. So even though this is a 10-year weekly chart, we're only going back about 7 years because that's all the data that we have with Zoom, okay? So when I'm looking at the technicals, it's really tight over here because this is so extended. It compressed the rest of the price action. So we would have to do this because it's trying to fit everything in the time frame. So like to see these technicals, see what I mean? We would have to space this out to try to find some technicals to make it easier for us to see the technicals. Guys, I think we can get away with just using the 1 year daily chart because of how this looks. So let's go back to the 1 year daily chart and let's try to do the technical starting from here because the price action is above this level right here. So I'm going to say this right here is going to be support. And we can do this as a zone actually. But that line is suffice for right now. So $96.22. I'm seeing that as support. And let me point out why. So it was tested here. It was tested here. And when it closed above it here, it was tested first. And then it closed above it the following day. And then it gapped up. Here, it closed right on it. It quite didn't make it on this candle. It opened above it, but it failed. It closed below it. So we can put this that it was tested here as well. So that's why I'm seeing this $96.22 as support because the price action is above it right now. So let's delete that, put that back. Okay, now, since the price, we look for one more area of support. So where do I see that at? I'm going to say right about here. Yeah, right about, I'm trying to find a candle that I can just click on that'll get most of them where I needed to be at or where I wanted to be. I think the bottom of this green one. Yeah, that one right there. So $89.55. So that's my next area of support. And I'm going to do the same thing. It wasn't able to close above it here. It closed above it. It closed on it. It was tested there. It held as resistance for the most part. And then here is being rolled for support. Then it closed below it and faded off. Had trouble getting above it here. So that's another key price level that I'm seeing, okay, for the technicals. Now, as far as resistance, since this is where the price action is right now, let me go over and look. I'm going to say that what I'm seeing as resistance is going to be right here, where all of these candles right here quite didn't get above that price level of $109.21. Even this candle, you see how it has a long wick that went above it during the trading session, but it opened. Let me zoom in. So since this is a red candle, it opened right here during the trading session. It created a high above that price level of $109.21, but it closed at the real body, the bottom of the body of that candle. So it's been testing that price level a few times. It's been testing it here and here, and it was not able to get above it. So there's one more area of resistance that I'm seeing, which is going to be that 52-week high of $113.73. So those are my technicals that I'm seeing. And then also the 9-day simple moving average, which is this green dash line. Okay. And that's actually where it closed at near today. That's where it closed at today, near the 9-day simple moving average. So those are the technicals that I'm seeing. So let's go ahead and get the stock quote for Zoom. So let me pull up the floating data box and then we can talk about the volume because that's part of the technicals too. That's important. I don't know why some people don't cover that, but they need to make sure they consider the volume. That's part of the technicals. That's important. So Zoom opened today at $99.44. They had a high of $101.94. They had a low of $98.75, and they closed today at $99.96, which was a trading range of $3.19. When we look at the trading volume, they traded 3.5 million shares of this stock today. Now, let's go over to the volume labels. Take me off the screen. Cut the floating data box off, and let's talk about the average volume. Let's start with the average volume first. So Zoom's daily average trading volume is 3.5 million shares in a daily trading session. So they did about average today. They did what they normally do. Now, the previous volume, so Tuesday, yesterday, because the holiday was Monday. So yesterday, they traded 5.4 million. So they almost did double what they normally do on Tuesday. And that was a red day. So that was this red candle right here where they had above average volume. And it closed right above that 9-day simple moving average. Okay. And then today it opened near that 9-day simple moving average. And then it had this brief moment where it went up and came right back down. So this looks like indecision. Ain't know if it wanted to go up or go down. When the open and close is really close to one another, it looks like indecision. But it's right there on that 9-day simple moving average. Okay. It is still trading above the 200-day simple moving average. And then this is the closest area of support I'm seeing, and that's the closest area of resistance, the $109.21 and the $96.22. All right. Now let's talk about the volume rank percentile. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 89 of those days had higher volume than today. So DA is stands for days above. DB stands for days below. The volume rank percentile was 64.7%, which means that out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 64.7% of those daily candles. Boom. So we got it done. We did our technical analysis for Zoom. So let's go ahead and keep it moving. Now, back to the community. I would appreciate it very much if you guys would share the stream, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you wish to send a monetary gift to support the content, PayPal and Cash App links are down in the description as well as on the ticker on the screen. Now, let's look at what the S&P 500 index did today by using the SPY ETF. This ETF gives investors an opportunity to participate in the broader U.S. market by allowing them to own a percentage of each company in the S&P 500 index. All right, so let's go back to the charts. There we go. And we're going to look at the SPY so we can take Zoom. I was about to say Doom. We can take Zoom down. Let's go over here to our symbol box and type in SPY. And there we go. All right. So they didn't hit a new high today. So let's zoom in and see what we're looking at. I zoomed in before we even did this. I don't know if it's your first time watching or not, but we'll cover this because that's what we always do. So let me take me off the screen. The 52-week low for the SPY is $578.43. I'm going to put all the technicals back on the chart. I know that looks busy, but we're going to break it down. And their 52-week high is $752.13. And that happened this week on Tuesday, which was yesterday. So let's zoom in and see what's going on. Guys, it's still trading within that range that we put on the chart for support and resistance. It's starting to trend sideways. Let me put me back on the screen because I can be on here. I'm not blocking anything. So we can see it tested the support of $748.94 that we had on the chart. So it opened here on the top of the body of the red candle. So it opened above the close of yesterday, but it closed slightly below the close of yesterday. So it's trending sideways right now. It didn't quite test that high though. It didn't get up there to the high, but it seems like the SPY is trending sideways right now. We at least got 2 candles telling us that. Okay, and it did test support today during the trading session. So it's still trading above the 9-day simple moving average. Of course, the 200-day simple moving average. There really isn't much with the technicals we can talk about besides what we've seen. It's only one extra candle that came up. So let's go ahead and do our ETF quote for the SPY. And then we'll talk about the volume so we can look at how the volume performed today at these price levels, okay? So let's go to settings, floating data box, and let's get this ETF quote. So the SPY opened today at $750.88. They had a high of $751.38. They had a low of $748.22, and they closed today at $750.46, which was a trading range of $3.16. The trading volume was 42 million shares of this ETF was traded today. So now we're going to take this floating data box off and we're going to go look at the volume labels. So take me off the screen so we can see them again. Now when we go over to the volume labels, the average trading volume for the SPY is around 74 million shares in a daily trading session. It was 75, but this average is starting to come down because at these highs, the average volume is starting to become lower and lower. It's averaging like around 40 million shares in a daily session. Now, when it was making these red candles, the volume was increasing. It was doing like 50. It was doing like 50 or 60 million shares in a daily trading session on the red candles. But with this trend, it seemed like it's starting to go sideways. I know it's only 2 daily candles, but the price action of the opens and the close between these 2 candles are really close. So it seems like it's starting to trend sideways. And the volume between these 2 days are about the same. So this is Tuesday's volume. So that's 41 million shares traded in that session on Tuesday. And today they did 42 million. So it was slightly higher on the red candle day. Okay, so we're going to put me back on the screen. We're going to talk about the volume rank percentile. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, guys, only 9 of those days had lower volume than today. So when we look at the volume rank percentile percentage, I hope is that twice? That's like saying it twice, percentile percentage. But anyway, out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was only higher than 3.6% of those trading days. So that's what that means. So this volume is extremely low right now at these record highs on the SPY. That's what we're seeing there. All right, we moving pretty smooth, guys. So we can go ahead and go, and we can keep it moving. All right. So now let's look at today's winners and losers. First, we're going to look at the loser so we can end the night on a high note. All right. So let's go back to the charts and go over to Market Watch. Matter of fact, I'll be messing up sometime. I don't want y'all to see some of this stuff. So let me make sure I got this right. I got it right. So I can bring y'all over. Here we go. So we are looking at the SPY watch list, and we have the biggest loser pulled up. So the biggest loser for today is ticker. Wait a minute. I'm about to tell you, but this speed on this is moving way too fast. It's driving me crazy. I don't know why I do that sometimes, but we fixed it. There we go. All right. So the biggest loser for today is ticker BSX. Boston Scientific Corporation is the biggest loser for today. They lost 12.46%. Their previous close was $57.64, and they closed today at $50.46. All right, so let's pull up the calculator and do a hypothetical. So if someone had invested, let's say $700, and they got that 12.46 negate percent loss, so they lost that 12.46%, they would have lost $87.22. So we add the initial principal back to the loss, and that person would have been left with 613. Where I get 13 from? $612.78 of their initial investment capital. Okay. Their principal. That's what they would be left with after that 12.46% loss. Trying to slow it down, make sure we're covering everything right. All right. So we got it. Now we can close that. We can go over and start looking at our analyze tab. So let's click on that. So ticker BSX is in the healthcare sector. All right. So let's go to Market Watch. We're going to go to Visualize, and we're going to look for this company to see how the healthcare sector performed compared to how this individual company performed. All right. So we opening up the S&P 500 index on the heat map. Let's go down to healthcare, and there's BSX right here. So I'm not seeing that the whole sector was doing bad today. I'm seeing, to me, it looks like it's more green than red, but this industry right here is getting smashed. Okay. And if you don't know what that is, we're about to break it down. So we're in the healthcare sector, but BSX is in the healthcare equipment and supplies industry. So now when we pull that up, we can see that that whole industry did bad today. All right. The whole industry. It's not one green one in there. And it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 companies in there. And they all did bad in this industry inside the healthcare sector. That's crazy. But now we see that it's not just BSX. So this might indicate that it's something that happened. Maybe a catalyst is possible. I'm just saying, this is why we use this tool. It might be something that's affecting this industry as a whole. That's why everybody had a bad day today. Okay, so that's how I use that as a tool to try to get an idea of what's going on. This might indicate that I need to find out what's going on if this was a company that I was interested in or invested in, or someone was invested in. That's how they could use this resource to try to get ahead of a problem or find out what's going on. Okay, so we got that. We're back over here. Now let's look at the company profile. Take me off the screen, break this down. So Boston Scientific Corporation, here's their website. I also have links down in the description for your convenience. Let's read a little bit about the description and go to their website. Boston Scientific Corporation develops, manufactures, and markets medical devices for use in various interventional medical specialties worldwide. I am done. So let's go ahead and go to their website. So here's Boston Scientific. There's a lady in a red car. Put me back on the screen. We got the ticker pulled up. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. All right. So I'm looking over the top. So we're definitely going to go to careers. That's right here. We're going to go to investors, for healthcare professionals, patients, caregivers, about, and there's the about Boston Scientific. So those are the 3 places we're going to visit, but I'm going to browse over the home page first. It looks like we can click right here. And remember, links for the website are down in the description. I think I just said that, but it don't hurt to say it again. So if you see something you want to dive deeper into, feel free. Feel free. Helping our employees grow, interested in our latest financial results. Here's a video. You can play that on your own time. We advance science for life, explore Boston Scientific. Here's some more news, corporate responsibility, investor relations, careers, which is what we're going to visit back at the top of the page. They also have it down here at the bottom. I'll take me off the screen so you can see it. So right here, they have about us, careers. Do I see investor relations down here? I don't. So let's go back to the top. And we're going to go to about Boston Scientific. Of course, they had a drop down. Put me back on the screen. Right here. Go to about us. So they got awards. See all about us. Yeah, I want to see all of it. Let's go there. At least they didn't take us off the website. All right. About Boston Scientific. Minimally invasive technologies that add more to patients' lives. Get to know Boston Scientific. See how the relentless pursuit of innovation leads to life-changing medical solutions. All right, we advance science for life. We read that. Our culture. So our work is guided by core values that determine the Boston Scientific, that define the Boston Scientific culture and empower our employees. Caring, diversity, winning spirit, high performance, meaningful innovation, global collaboration. And got it. All right, so here are some stats. Over 50,000 almost 60,000 employees worldwide, almost 50 million patients are treated each year. R&D. So they've invested about 2 billion in research and development. They have about 20 billion in net sales, and they have, I don't know what that means, countries with commercial representation. It says 127. So what I would do, I would look that up, but I don't want to slow the show down tonight. So I'm telling you, if there's anything that you see that you researching or you're looking over that you don't understand, do your research and find out. That's the first key of being humble. I don't know what that means. Good. Go find out what it means. That's how you do that. Okay. But I want to keep the show moving tonight. All right, let's go to, we need to go to careers. Let's see if we can click right here. No, let's say search jobs. I don't want to search jobs. Healthcare, caregivers, careers. Let's go here. What if it take us to the same thing? That'd be crazy if we just take it to the same thing. Career, search job. I just want to see benefits. Bam, there we go. On the left-hand side of the page. I want to find out what the benefits is. I ain't looking for the job. I just want to know what the benefits are. So there we go. We are at the benefits. Now, let me see if we zoomed out. No, we good. We good. So your way forward is our way forward. Benefits. Our employee benefits program support the health and well-being of our people while providing flexibility to meet their individual needs and expectations. All right. When you're at your best, we're at our best. That's that's about right. That's how I feel. Boston Scientific has provided me the flexibility. Oh, that's her. So they have benefits that deal with your health, finances, your life. Learn more about our comprehensive benefits by location. So we found that out before. So the benefits depend on where that employee resides or works at. Okay. So they showing maps of all over the world. So, hey, we got the links down in the description. You want to check that out a little bit deeper, do that on your own time. There you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Now we're going to go to investors. There we go. I'm so glad that they kept everything on the same website and it didn't pop up a different website and we had to go somewhere else. So here is the investors relations page. I'm going to scroll over the home page. I see stock at the top, so we're going to go there after we scroll over it. So there we go. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. So we're going to go to stock quote, and we can also see that they have other investor tools on their website. So let's go to stock quote. Is it going to load up? It says stock quote and chart, but I don't see a stock quote in a chart. This isn't strange. So I'm telling you, as many websites as we go to when we visit to do our qualitative analysis, sometimes they'll have these links that go to these places of information that we supposed to be looking up, and it won't even be nothing there. So I'm not even surprised. So they don't even have a stock quote and chart on their website, even though they have a link for it. It's not actually active. So we can go ahead and move on. So we did what we needed to do there. So let's go here and we can talk about the research that I found out about this company. All right. So Boston Scientific Corporation, ticker BSX. When it comes to their goods and services, they provide medical devices and minimally invasive technologies globally, offering solutions such as, all right, this is bunched up in my prompter. So let me break this up so it'll be easier for me to read, because that was a trip. That was tough. I got through it for the most part, but let me break this up to make this smoother. All right. So they provide, here we go. Interventional cardiology and structural heart devices like coronary stents, cardiac rhythm management devices like pacemakers, and deep brain stimulation implants for chronic pain and movement disorders. And looking at their S&P 500 customers, breaking this down again, it's bunched up. I don't know why this did this. Okay, and looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include Hospital Corporation of America Healthcare Incorporated, ticker HCA, Tenet Healthcare Corporation, ticker THC, and Universal Health Services Incorporated, ticker UHS. All right. So that's some of their goods and services and some of their customers and partners that they work with. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the charts and get some technical analysis done on this company. A quick technical analysis. So let's go over to the charts. All right, now we're looking at a 1 year daily chart, and their 52-week high is $109.50. Their 52-week low happened today, and it's $50.04, and it was a gap down right here. So what I'm going to do, let's go to the 10-year weekly chart. Oh my gosh, guys, that look nasty, don't it? Look at this. Whoo, bam, it's coming down. Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, that look bad. All right, let me take me off the screen. Let's talk about the 10-year low. So the 10-year low is $19.67. The 10-year high is $109.50. So we can see, guys, that this year, well, actually, it looks like the downtrend started in September. Let me zoom in because this is where we are. So I'm looking at the date on the bottom of the screen. I'm not sure if you can see it, so I'll open up the floating data box and I'll put me back on the screen. I don't need to be hidden. There we go. So we go to here, and the date will be on the top of this box when I mouse over the candle. So that high was in the week. That's the date for that week because we're looking at weekly candles. That's not the actual date of the day. So that week was September 8th, 2025. That was when they had that high, and it seems like that's when the downtrend started. But it looks like it went sideways first. So I'm gonna break this down so you can see what I'm talking about. So take the floating data box off. Let me use my other mouse real quick. So it looks like it was in consolidation right here. Consolidation, it was trending sideways. Then it went down. When it went down, it recovered a little, but it started to consolidate again. That's what I'm seeing. And then the downtrend, boom, just took off. Now we're looking at weekly candles, and we're looking at the 10-year chart. So we can see that that's when that downtrend started to take place. So so that's 2025. It looked, for the most part, it was trending sideways. Then this year it's just been coming down, guys. So it's trading up under the 9-week simple moving average. That's going to be this dashed green line, and it just broke through, what's that, a few weeks ago? So like, it looks like March. So about the end of March, that's when the 9-week simple moving average crossed the 200-week simple moving average. The dashed white line got crossed by the green dash line, which is the 9-week crossed over the 200-week simple moving average. That's what we're looking at, okay? Now, if we're looking at support and resistance, I'm seeing that right here. So let me take me off the screen. And we're going to back this up. Use this other mouse. Back this up. I'm seeing this area over here. So if we was to put a price level like right here, I say the bottom of this green candle right here. So we can see that this was tested as resistance and support throughout this time frame. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. And then it started to uptrend after it found support. And this was for almost the whole 2023 year, okay, that we're looking at there. So let me go back here. So I'm seeing that as support based off what was happening in 2023. We can put me back on the screen. As far as resistance, we can use that area right there as resistance. So let's do that. So bam. And now if we zoom in, you can see why I did that. So that's consolidation again. This area is consolidation. You see how it wasn't able to get above that price level of $54.69 for a while. So I'm seeing that as resistance. Then it rode it here as support, and then the trend, boom, to the upside. All right, so delete that, go back here, use the other mouse, zoom out. So that's all I'm really seeing on the 10-year weekly, because we're going back years and years if we go back any further, but we do need another. All right, so I'm using the lows here and the highs here to give me another area of support, okay? So that's going to be $45.10. Now we're going to go back to the 1 year daily chart. All right, so that's where we got our support and resistance from using the 10-year weekly chart. As far as resistance here, I'm seeing resistance here, $58.17. And this is going to be kind of tight, guys, because of how this is moving with the days. So I'm going to say here would be another area of resistance too. All right. Now, let's do our gap, because today it gapped down from Wednesday. I mean, it gapped down from Tuesday. Today's Wednesday, it gapped down. So here's that gap from Tuesday's low, yesterday's low, to today's high. We got a gap here. So let's draw our gap. We're going to use the rectangle tool, snap to that low, snap to that high. Then we're going to turn this yellow. So edit properties, turn that yellow, because that's how we identify gaps on these charts. Edit properties. We're going to take this out to December 1st. It's a random date. I like using it just to extend it over so I know where the gap is. Okay. So that gap is going to be resistance if it starts to come up, and we would call that a gap fill, because there's no normal trading hours trade action in that gap. That's why we calling it a gap. So it's below the 9-day simple moving average, and I believe is well below the 200-day simple moving average. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is. All right. So we have some technicals here, quick technical analysis, and we did our gap. So we can go ahead and do our stock quote for BSX. So let's go here, come on the floating data box, get this out of the way so we can talk about the volume. So today, Boston Scientific Corporation opened at $53.13. They had a high of $53.20. They had a low of $50.04, and they closed today at $50.46, which was a trading range of $3.16. Their trading volume, they traded 52.7 million shares of this stock today. So we're going to cut off this floating data box, and we are going to go to the volume label. So let me take me off the screen. So the average trading volume for this company, guys, in a daily trading session is 11 million shares. If we rounded it up, it would be 12 million. So we could say, if we rounded this to 10 million, and then we round to 52. So it's about 5 times what they normally get. The trading volume today. And the volume increased dramatically to the downside. So on Tuesday, the trading volume was above average, but it was 15 million shares traded on Tuesday. And today they traded 52 million shares with that downside move, and they gapped down. Okay. So that's what we're seeing there. And the 52-week low is $50.04. But we found a historical level of support. That's where we got the $49.69 from. Okay. So let's talk about the volume rate percentile. Put me back on the screen. So out of the most recent 252 trading days, only one of those days had higher volume than today. So that's significant. Now, when we look at the volume rate percentile, out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 99.6% of those 252 daily candles. All right. Boom. So we got that done. So we can go ahead and move on to our biggest winner. So let's go back over to the Market Watch tab. Let's go to quotes, and we're going to change this column to the winner. So today's winner is ticker APP, AppLovin Corporation. They went up by 10.42% today. So they are the biggest winner. Their previous close was $514.24. They closed today at $567.83. Okay, so let's do a quick hypothetical. If someone had invested, let's say $250, and they got that 10.42% gain. So we multiply that 10.42 for 2% equal, they would have made $26.05 on their investment. So their ROI would have been $26.05, and we add the $250 back to it, which was the principal, and the total investment would have grown to $276.05. Bam. All right. So let's go over here to analyze. There's the ticker APP, and they are in the information technology sector. So let's go over to Market Watch. We're going to do that visualize thing again, and we're going to see how did the information technology sector perform today, and how did their peers perform. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of red in the information technology sector, and app is right here. It's bright green. All right, so we're going to zoom in. What industry is that? We need to find out what industry that is. Looks like it's the software industry. So let me take me off the screen because I don't want to block this. So we're in the information technology sector. We hit that drop down and we're looking for the software industry. Bam. So it looks like out of all of these companies in the software industry, only App, Now, Intuit, Workday, and FICO. Is that FICO? I think so. Yeah, FICO. Were green today in this industry, in the software industry. So it looks like the software industry had a bad day. They had a hard time, but App didn't have that problem. So let me put me back on the screen. They did all right. They did all right. So let's go back over here to analyze. I don't know why I put me back on the screen. Got to take me back off the screen, guys, because we're going to read a little bit of this description. So AppLovin Corporation, here's their website. Link to their website is also down in the description for your convenience. AppLovin Corporation provides end-to-end artificial intelligence-powered advertising solutions for businesses in the United States and internationally. It operates through two segments, advertising and apps. All right, we're done. Let's put me back on the screen and let's go to their website. We're about to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. We're almost done. Let's see, zoom in. We're already good. All right, so we're on the AppLovin's homepage. We see investors, so we're definitely going to go there. Here we go with the cookies. Reject all. So we're going to scroll over their homepage. And guys, we at the bottom. This company does advertising. They don't spend a lot of time on their website. So we're going to go to About AppLovin. I think we already at About AppLovin. Their website is so short. So we're going to go to careers and we're going to go to investors. We're already on the About AppLovin. And so we can just read this. We enable businesses to advertise profitably. Our suite of marketing technologies empowers businesses to acquire customers, monetize them, and measure the performance of their advertising efforts. All right. And then they got the founding principles down there that's scrolling across the screen. And then we need to put this here, put the right disclaimer for the website. There we go. All right. So let's go to careers. We're going to look and we see if we can find the benefits. Careers, grow your career at AppLovin. And guys, this company that came up on this live stream, I don't know how many times. Biggest winner, biggest loser. They're on there somewhere. They've popped up a lot. So AppLovin is focused on enabling companies around the world to bring their ideas, products, and content to more people at a massive global scale. And they also have a video here talking about watch how we work. So our culture at AppLovin, we're all about staying inspired and delivering our best. We strive to surpass the goals we set for ourselves. This means always taking initiative, acting with integrity, and aspiring to greatness. You know, I'm all about that original greatness, that greatness. All right. So benefits. AppLovin is committed to supporting our employees and their families through our comprehensive benefits program. All right. So here's where they break some of that down. All right. So you can read all of that on your own time, link down in the description. Some of it that stands out to me: phone bill covered for business usage, employee stock repurchase plan, parental leave program, family farming, and women's reproductive health benefits. All right. So we got that. Get in there, do the right thing, I don't know where I get that from. Do the things, learn from the masters. Okay, you need to apply for a whole bunch of different jobs. We need to find investor relations so we can get ready to wrap it up. Here we go. Investors. It opened up a whole different website. So let me bring this over so you can see it, guys. Okay, so here we go. Let's blow this up. Bam, bam. Are we zoomed in? Yeah, we're good. So we're on investor relations. They trade on the NASDAQ. There's the ticker. That's the closing price. That's the price, net price change. Okay, press release. We're going to scroll over this page and then we're going to find the stock quote and stock information. So here we go. Click that. Stock information. So there's the stock quote, there's the stock chart, and here are some other investor tools that they have available on their website. Brilliant. All right. So it looks like this one is actually set up right. So let's go ahead and go over here and I'm going to share with you the research that I found about this company so we can break this down, summarize what we just read real quick. When it comes to their goods and services, they're who? We don't have that part on there. AppLovin Corporation. When it comes to their goods and services, they provide mobile advertising and marketing technology globally, offering solutions such as their AI-powered recommendation engine, Axon, which optimizes user acquisition and advertising spend for mobile developers. App Discovery, a marketing platform that matches advertiser demand with publisher inventory through automated auctions, and a portfolio of first-party mobile apps and studios used to test and refine their core ad delivery networks. And looking at their S&P 500 customers and partners, notable names include Spotify Technology, SA, ticker SPOT, Match Group Incorporated, ticker MTCH, and Meta Platforms Incorporated, ticker META. All right, now let's go to the charts and do a quick technical analysis on AppLovin. And since we didn't cover them multiple times before, I'm sure we already have some technicals on this chart. Yes, we do. So this is going to be quick and it's going to be interesting because what this means is that we're going to be able to see that what we already have drawn on the charts, it actually responded to. So what I love about technical analysis that a lot of people think that it's random. It's supposed to be random, but if you learn the skill of technical analysis, you'll find, hopefully, or possibly, or at least I found that these prices tend to respond to these price levels. So we haven't looked at AppLovin in a minute, but we drew this area as resistance. And I'm going to tell you where we got it from. So this $519.79, we got that from what was going on here. This candle right here. And another reason I picked this candle is because that's like the midway point of this long red candle right here. That's like the midway point of the body of that red candle. Let me take me off the screen so you can see it. So this big red candle, we're looking at a 1-year daily chart, by the way. So I liked that price level because that was the high that this candle wasn't able to get across. It's like the mid part of the full body of this red candle right here, this long bearish red candle. And it was on the open of this green candle, and this wick on this red candle had tested that area as support as well. It closed slightly above it. So I had liked that price level. Now we can see that on Tuesday, which is this candle of indecision, that's clearly indecision, it found resistance at the 200-day simple moving average, that dashed white line, and it opened and closed just below that area of resistance. But today it opened right above that area of resistance, and then it boom, took off, broke through that 200-day simple moving average, and it closed right here. So it actually responded to that price level that we had put on the chart previously. And it's been consolidating. This is consolidation. This is trending sideways. After consolidation, it's either going to break to the upside. Let me delete that. And why I didn't, oh, I know why it didn't put me back on the screen. Give me a second. There we go. All right, got me back on the screen. Now it's either going to break to the upside, which it did, or it's going to break to the downside after consolidation. So since we know it broke to the downside, we can go ahead and we can delete this part because it broke up. It broke to the upside. So that's what we see in there. That's what I'm seeing on the technicals. As far as resistance, we need to find resistance because that's what we didn't draw on the chart because the price action was down in these levels the last time we looked at this. So let's delete all this. We don't need to see that. Drag this over. So what I'm looking at as resistance is this area right here, the high of this candle. So now when I zoom out, we can see that it actually responded to that already. It closed right below the $569.92. And that's because as this was trending down, When it did the pullback on the way down, it created a high. And that's what I'm using as support. So my next area of resistance is going to be here. And I'm going to explain why. That area is going to be my area of resistance because of how many candles responded to that price level. You see how many wicks touched that price level, but wasn't able to close below it? And then this one closed below it. This one opened above it, and then it closed. So it's respecting that price level of $610.58. That's where I'm getting that from, okay? So as far as resistance, the next area of resistance that I'm seeing, and if we needed one more, it would be this one. So let me delete this, go here, put that back on. Give me that back. There we go. My next area of resistance is going to be right here. And I'm using the wick of the red candle because the green candle was also a wick. So to make it where it's two candles, so that price level would be $675. So those are the three levels of resistance that I'm seeing that's above the price action now. And then we already have our supports from what we did before. All right. So we did our technical analysis with this. And if you want to peek, let's go back. Here's the 10-year weekly chart. And now we got a whole bunch of lines now. And then this isn't 10 years because it doesn't go back that far as this company, but this is designed to go back 10 years. So if we go up here, we can look at the time frame, 10-year weekly. That's what this is supposed to be. And then we can see that up here as well, 10-year weekly, but it's only going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we count this year, like 5.5 years. All right. So we'll go back to the 1-year daily chart, and let's get our stock quotes. We can go ahead and wrap the show up, guys. So go to settings, cut on the floating data box, and let's get this stock quote. So AppLovin opened today at $520.91. They had a high of $581. They had a low of $514.12, and they closed today at $567.83, which was a trading range of $66.88. That's wild. All right, now the trading volume, they traded 8 million shares of this stock today. So we're going to take me off the screen and we're going to take off the floating data box. So when we take that off, when we look at the average trading volume for AppLovin, they usually trade 5 million shares in a daily trading session. So today's volume was definitely above average, trading that 8 million. And then on Tuesday, they traded 6.7 million. So both of those days this week, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, were both above average. Now, when we look at the volume rank percentile, put me back on the screen. Out of the most recent 252 trading days, only 30 of those days had higher volume than today. So that's the DA volume rank percentile right here is 88.1%, which basically means that out of the most recent 252 trading days, today's volume was higher than 88.1% of those daily candles. Guys, we did our thing. We done. We done. We did that. We done. We done for the night. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. You already know. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you earned something. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I've done 2 interviews with up-and-coming content creator Tiara Owens, sharing how I got started in the stock market, my profits and losses, and a link to that playlist of interviews are down in the description. And make sure you tune in weekdays following a market trading session at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Take care and God bless.